attention, a feeling I never was expecting. I don't see the pros, don't know the cons, forget the whys. Do you know why?
Hey guys, welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button, and if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into this conversation about amandaseales and Shannon Sharpe. Now, Shannon Sharpe, he's been having his run with his clubshayshay podcast. Not everybody, but a lot of people have been giving him the grace to come and sit on his brown leather chairs and drink his brown liquor to discuss their stories and their experiences. And I've said a number of times that in my opinion, he's not an interviewer. He's a personality that people have given the honor and the grace to have him experience their presence and share their stories while he monetizes off of their presence and them sharing their stories. I feel like he should leave it at that, because him trying to invoke his thoughts into their situations and their scenarios is really starting to make his slip show, if you get my drift. A lot of people are feeling like he's just really showing what lack of knowledge he has in a lot of areas. And it's like, stick to sports. That's how a lot of people are feeling. But I digress. Amandaseales, she was on Club Shay Shay, and she talked about a lot of things.
I was in the situation at Disney. I was there as the only black girl. Okay. And there was a whole crew. It's like 12 of us. And so I was called an N-word right there while I was there. And I was also bullied while I was there because I was told that you're only here because you're black. You can't really dance. You're just here because you're black. So don't get any ideas. So that's what I'm being told by the other children. Does that suffice as racist to you, or would you want to call it something else? Is that just kids being mean?
The kids. So let me ask you a question. As a child, you never said anything derogatory? You was just this model citizen as a child? I mean, children. Now, we're talking children, not functioning adults. Now, if you told me the adults, parents were telling you this, or the execs or people that are in charge of Disney are telling you this, I could agree with it. But at 89, you're probably 8, 9 years of age. Maybe younger.
So you have no problem with the children that were cursing out Ruby Bridges and the Little Rock Nine? Do you think that was just them being kids?
Two things can be true. Kids can be kids and not function as an adult, and things can be wrong. And sometimes when kids say things, they're repeating what they heard their parents say. They don't know it's wrong.
So what about the children who are receiving it that know it's wrong? Does that not matter?
Yes.
So if I'm 10 and I'm receiving that treatment and I know it's wrong, does it make my experience of it less?
It doesn't make it any less valid. No.
So that's what we're here to talk about. My experience.
Yes.
So my experience is that I experienced that and it was difficult. So that's the valid part of this. I'm not here to protect those people because it's irrelevant.
That part. See, he just makes himself sound so unintelligent by saying something like that, because yes, they're children, but it's learned behavior, which makes it racist. And so I love what she said. Okay, so if they didn't know it was wrong, is what you're saying, but I knew it was wrong and I was on the receiving end of it, does it make my experience less valid? So I'm not here to protect them. And I 100% agree with that. But just listen to what she has to say versus trying to get in there and school her and educate her. Listen, I'll stand on what I said before when it came to amandaseales. I talked about an activist versus someone who is educated and is passionate. There's a difference. There is a difference. But the woman definitely is smart. She's absolutely, can't take that away from her. She is educated. Her experiences are her experiences. And yeah, to a lot of people, they do see her as coming off as abrasive or unlikable or whatever their reasons may be. But it doesn't mean that it's okay for anyone to brush off her experiences and invalidate them as if they're not real, especially when it comes to racism. But, Shannon Sharpe, he's got the Club Shay podcast. He's pretty much everywhere. I don't know when he sleeps, but he will do these interviews and then he'll come on and he'll either dig deeper into it with Ocho Cinco, whatever it is that they do together, the nightcap, I think they call it. And then now he's talking about amandaseales and what she shared on the Club Shay podcast. And again, just continuously monetizing it. But a lot of people are just really seeing that your slip is showing, dude. Your slip is showing.
I think sometimes, she thinks everybody's out together. And so until she's comfortable with you, she's going to keep that guard up. Mm-hmm. She's going to keep the guard up. Because I asked her for a hug earlier. She's like, nah, I don't hug. I asked her, I said, give me some doubt. She didn't want to give me no doubt. But once I told her, I said, Amanda, this is a safe space. You can tell your story.
Right.
She saw it back. She paused. She's like, can I have a hug? And then she was cool. I think a lot of things and people like, I was trying to invalidate her experience. No, I wasn't. It's the same thing I told Monique when Monique said, I was trying to get this role and Oprah told me to go blah, blah, blah for, right. And she ended up getting the role. I said, well, Monique, did you ever think that they were looking for a black heavyset woman and you two were probably the only two in Hollywood? And she said, oh, okay. That makes sense. Right. And so when she said the white lady had her teacher, I said, Amanda, did it ever cross your mind that, I don't know where you from, but where I grew up, Ocho, kids never corrected a parent or an adult.
Corrected?
Yes. And that's what I said. I said, Amanda, did you think maybe because you were a child, even though you were right, the mere fact that a child corrected an adult. Now, right. Maybe in today's time, that's fine. Mm-hmm. Maybe where in some place you grew up. But I don't ever remember being in a situation, a child couldn't even interrupt an adult conversation. You couldn't pull on your parents or your grandparents' leg and say, hey. I'm like, huh? No. So that's what I was saying. I said, maybe, Amanda, it wasn't racism. Maybe it was the fact that a child was correcting an adult. But that was her experience. That's what, and like I said, I mean, that's how she felt about it. But I enjoyed the interview.
All right. So here's the thing. I don't think I think he's towing the lines of trying to be a journalist when he said that he's not. I actually agreed. I said, I don't believe that he is a journalist. I don't believe this is his, profession and that's something that he specializes in. It's just more of a conversation. And even not really so much of a conversation as it is people coming out to talk about their experiences. He may ask them some questions about some specific things that he knows that they have experienced or roles that they've played or albums that they've done or music or whatever. But I don't think that he gets that when he tries to play the devil's advocate sort of thing, because you can just leave that alone. Just allow them to share their experiences. Now, if he didn't play the devil's advocate, maybe we wouldn't get these moments like this. But with all of that being said, him coming out to react to the criticism that he has received because of what he said when she was talking about her experiences with the racist children, a racist teacher, and he could just, if he wanted to react to it, just say, look, I don't believe his ego will allow him to say, I don't really have the range when it comes to that, because you can't equate your experiences to hers. Clearly you can't do that. But just be honest and say, this isn't my expertise. I may have grown up in the South and I may have seen or even experienced racism, but her story is her story, and I never wanted to take that away from her. So if I offended in any way, I'm sorry about that. But saying, oh, she had her guard up and I tried to go in for a hug. She wouldn't give me a hug. I tried to give her dap. She wouldn't give me dap. Well, she was feeling some type of way. And you can, so like, what do you want us or her to do with that? But, you know, we live in a society where people, even if they don't believe that they are, they worship and idolize these celebrities, especially the Black ones that's making a lot of money. It's like they're a deity at that point. They're a god. So you can't say anything negative about them, or people are going to come and say, well, he's making more money than you. Yeah, well, he's making more money than you too. So what do you want us to do with that? Okay. It's like, seriously, it doesn't take away people's opinions of him, and that he really doesn't have the range to have these types of conversations. I don't have an issue with him having people come on his platform to talk about their experiences, but don't try to play devil's advocate and try to downplay her experience and then come out after the fact to even dig deeper into the situation. But I just believe because of his ego, we've seen this a lot, especially since he's been having these interviews that has been going viral. He will come out and go deeper. You know, when he did the Cat Williams interview, he had to come out to speak to the haters and say how much money he made off of that interview. And I got some more ones coming, and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. It's the braggadocious thing and the ego that is a huge turnoff. I can't stand that about anybody. And then when he's hearing that he's getting backlash and criticism for how things were handled on the amandaseales interview or conversation, I don't even want to call it an interview, conversation. Just say, look, if it was offensive, that wasn't what I meant to do, and I apologize for it. But no, he's standing 10 toes down in it. And it's just like, just shut up. I'm just saying, like, there are times when it's okay to not say anything. Learn the art of silence. But he's just somebody that just is so used to flapping those gums and those lips that I think he talks in his sleep at this point in time. So anyway, guys, you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks for being here, liking, and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.
Wonder if we maybe were mistaken. Don't wanna talk, don't wanna see, don't wanna feel